Hey, how about it, race fans? Richard Allen of motorsportsreport.net coming at you with one of my richest ramblings. And I know that I haven't been terribly consistent in doing these things. I'm going to try to improve that. Of course, it seems like I say that every time. But on this instance, and I'm going to start doing this from now on, I think, I'm going to try to do one of these weekly, and it's also going to come with a written part because some people would rather read it, and maybe some people would rather watch it or listen to it. So that's what I'm going to work on this time. And this particular edition is called Controversies and Confrontations. As we had in the racing world, we had a little bit of that happen over the last week, and so I thought I'd address that. And then there's some other issues that may not necessarily be controversial or confrontational either. But it's going to start off with the Shane McDowell Racing versus Southern All Stars episode that we had back on April the 13th at North Georgia Speedway. There was a Southern All-Stars race there, and Dale McDowell was flagged as the winner and looked like he was on his way to pick up a $10,000 payday. But then after quite a bit of conversation, a lot of back and forth, turned out he was disqualified for violating the series tire rule. The series has a rule in place that allows you to use 6 tires throughout the evening, and it came to be found out that that team had used 7 tires during the running of the race, or during the running of the whole show, and thus he was disqualified. Now, from what I understand, that disqualification took quite a while to be handed down, as they went back and forth a lot with like I said, a lot of conversations and a lot of maybe even some arguing. I don't know, but ultimately McDowell was disqualified, and the win was then handed to Ray Cook, who had come in second. Where the issue seems to come in is where the Southern All-Stars had not included that rule in the rule book, at least according to Shane McDowell Racing. So the Southern All-Stars came back and said that the rule was on a Facebook page, and then that it was also mentioned in the drivers' meeting just before the race as well. So here's the issue as I see it. It looks to me like on both sides, they both bear some responsibility on this. Obviously, if you're a race team, Shane McDowell Racing, then it's ultimately up to you to make sure that your car fits the rules, that you got the right tires, whatever the case might be. It's ultimately up to the team to do that, and even. They said that the tire rule was mentioned in the drivers' meeting. In an interview that I read, Dale McDowell said that he did not attend the drivers' meeting because if you've ever been to North Georgia, the pit area is a little bit spread out there, and either he just didn't know it was time for it or whatever, but he didn't attend. And I'll just be honest, I've been to several drivers' meetings before, and attendance is sometimes sparse among the drivers and the teams, and then they're not always easy to follow along with too, because there are other conversations going on and things like that, and series officials tend to read through a whole bunch of rules that kind of everybody already knows before they get to the ones that might actually matter that night. So there's a little bit on the series and a little bit on the team for that. But then another issue that comes up is where the rule was stated. The website's called Facebook, not Rule Book. So if there is a rule, it should be in a central location, preferably the series website that has that on there. So that part's on the series, and then the other part, like I said, ultimately, if you're going to show up to run a race, there's some on you as a team to know what the rules are as well. So it's really an unfortunate situation that it all played out the way it did, but there's a little bit of fault to be found otherwise. I can understand why Shane McDowell Racing's upset, but then I can understand the Southern All-Stars position as well, that there were other teams there who had used 6 tires during the night instead of 7 like they were supposed to, and there was also some confusion where the McDowell side points out that in the pre-race that an official walked around, looked at the tires on the number 17M, and then just waved him out onto the track, essentially seeming to give a thumbs up on the fact that the car was good. So, it's like I said, it's a difficult situation for everybody. It's one that seems like it could have been avoided, but unfortunately it was not. So, and that's probably going to have lasting impact as far as Shane McDowell Racing running any more Southern All-Star races. I mean, who knows? Maybe that'll all get patched up at some time or another. Then another confrontation that we saw over the past weekend on Friday night at Paducah International Raceway, the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series race there. And if you've seen the highlights, or maybe if you haven't, you might want to go back and look. But Buddy Kofoid and David Gravel were having a pretty intense battle for second, second and on back for position there, and slide jobs were being exchanged, and one of those slide jobs, I guess, went bad, and ultimately it wound up with David Gravel going for a flip. Then Brock Zierfoss came in, and he also flipped as well. But something that was a little interesting after that, when of course there's a red flag immediately as soon as there's a flip on the track, so everybody came to a stop. Gravel quickly got out of his car and ran all the way from the exit of turn 4 to the exit of turn 2 where Kofoid was parked, and they exchanged some pleasantries there between them, maybe even a little gesture or two thrown in as well, which seems a little odd because both these guys are not really high-strung, emotional guys. It doesn't seem like they're Gravel tends to in the pit area have a stoic appearance, and Kofoid being a young guy, he was willing to exchange those or get in that exchange with Gravel, the more experienced driver. So that's interesting too. We're going to see a lot more of that. It's a long season. It's going to get hot in the summer. People are going to get irritated, but a little bit of I don't know, maybe a fun moment or something, I guess. All right, on the NASCAR side, something I was going to talk about, scoring pylons. People actually get upset over scoring pylons. Talladega Superspeedway removed their scoring pylon. Apparently, there were people who are upset about it. That seems like there are so many things in the world to get upset about. Whether a scoring pylon still in place seems like a strange one. But it became a story over the weekend that Talladega had removed the scoring pylon. So from the confrontation side, I guess there's a confrontation between, I don't know, maybe the track and the fans or whoever, I don't know, the media. Throwing in there as well. This seems so dumb to me. Scoring pylon, I've been to Talladega Superspeedway once, I think once, and I have to wonder just what percentage of the fans could actually see the thing. The place is so massive that it would be hard to imagine that more than just a small percentage could even see it. And then at Talladega, the way they run those 2 and 3 wide packs all day long, I mean, there's constant position changes every lap, so there's no way a scoring pylon could keep up with it. The only thing I see of any benefit you get would be the lap count, and you can get that from just about anywhere. A lot of the dirt tracks I go to don't even have a working scoreboard. There's really no need for them anymore because you've got My Race Pass and all that, and of course NASCAR points out that they have a on the video screens it keeps a running tab of the lap count, and also on the position changes as well. So it just seemed like something that's kind of pointless to be upset about as far as I'm concerned. Then the last part of this Rich's ramblings that I'm going to go on with, Hudson O'Neal appears that he's about to reveal what his plans are, after he left the Rocket House Car team back there right after Georgia, Florida Speedweeks. There's been a bunch of speculation. People saying, oh, he's going to Coltman Farms Racing. He's starting his own team. Or he's going here, he's going there. He's been teasing with some Longhorn stuff, the horns up signs, all that on his Facebook page. So with the Lucas Oil Series running this upcoming weekend, if he's going to stick with that series, he's going to have to make an announcement soon. So keep up on motorsportsreport.net, and we'll do our best to keep on top of it. But for now, It's Richard Allen of motorsportsreport.net with the Rich's Ramblings. Thank you for taking the time.